So this past week I opened up about my eating disorder and I came out about it on this channel. I didn't think I was ready for it. I still don't know if I'm ready for it, but I kind of want to stay on this track where I'm bringing awareness to mental health, anxiety, and depression. I feel like it's not talked about, I feel like there's bad stigmas, and I feel like I have some kind of responsibility to keep this talk going now that we started it on my channel. I want to continue this path of storytelling, keeping it real and raw, and bringing awareness. With that being said, I decided to make a series on this channel called The Truth About, where I talk to other YouTubers candidly on camera, super real and raw, about what they're struggling with off camera. I feel like YouTubers have a stigma that their lives are perfect, and we're all humans just like you guys. The point of the series is to completely bring down that wall and bring creators closer to their subscribers while spreading awareness and keeping the conversation going that should be going. I personally reached out to these influencers myself, and we're going to be talking about things they struggle with currently off camera. So let's bring the wall down, let's bring awareness, and let's keep the conversation going. Let's go. So today we are going to go to Sierra's house, Sierra Furtado. If you guys aren't familiar with her, she is huge on YouTube with the whole lifestyle space. Her Instagram looks like Tumblr, she travels a ton, she has the cutest relationship, and her life looks perfect. Sierra's actually a good friend of mine. We've actually known each other for about 4 years. We've seen each other grow in our different ways, and it's gonna be really cool to sit down with her and see what's up with her lately. A lot of you guys voiced concerns in my last video that I made about my eating disorder, asking me to actually sit down with Sierra and find out what's going on. She recently lost a lot of weight, as did I, and she's also made a few Q&As opening up about certain things going on in her life as far as anxiety goes. So I reached out to her to have a candid conversation about her life, and she's on board, so let's go to her house and find out what's up with Sierra. We're on our way to Sierra's house. I reached out to her about this and she was actually really excited, but she did say she was nervous. I do want to let you guys know that I've talked to Sierra and we're not going to talk about things she doesn't want to talk about, and we're not going to go into depth about things she doesn't want to go into depth about. This episode is completely in her ballpark. I just want her to feel comfortable, and I don't want to overshare things that she's not ready to share. I think it's really important that people share when they're ready. I feel like the good thing about this approach is you guys that are fans of Sierra are going to feel much closer to her after this. And I think she senses that, and we're both kind of ready to do this together, and I'm excited to catch up with her. I haven't sat down and actually talked like this to her in a while. I'm nervous and excited, and I'm sure she's nervous too. Yeah, let's see where this goes. I feel like that's a good sign. There's a smiley on that mountain. Do you guys see it? We're here. Here we go. Wait, I don't know if this is her house. I didn't think she had a dog. I feel like this isn't her house. So that was awkward. We went to the wrong house. I knew it wasn't her house because I heard a dog. She doesn't have a dog. Where are we going? Hopefully we find her house. We were dropped off at the wrong house. Package? So I'm delivering a package too.
Hey!
Oh, I got a package for you.
Oh!
It's by your doorstep. So give me a tour of your place. This is my first time visiting. It's literally gold. And you guys can't smell it through the lens, but it smells new.
This is my office, I guess. I don't really use this a lot, but I have a cool sign.
It's, oh my god! Girls Night In!
Oh my god!
Did you decorate this yourself?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yo, this is such like a master bedroom.
May? He's in the bathroom.
This is literally me and Nate when I have guests over. Nate's always half naked.
I always come in anyway, but yeah, that's my bedroom.
Oh my god, it looks like a queen's bedroom. And you have that chair and everything. Oh, this is her old headboard.
Yeah. Like
I remember
old
this.
bed and stuff. Oh, he loves that.
How do you hold it? Like he wants mama. He's so
Oh my
comfy.
goodness. You're not a cat person.
I don't really hold cats. You're cute, baby.
I'm not.
You're not ready. That's exactly how I felt. I still don't even think I'm ready, that people know my I deal with, but
I'm nervous. I think I texted you that like
you did, and I'm nervous too. On the way I was nervous because like I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to push you to talk about anything. Like the ball is in your park. You go in depth as much as you want to go in depth.
I think it's good because I haven't talked about anything, and this is gonna like push me to do it, and I think it's a good thing.
Well, I was excited when you were on board because I've known you since 2014, and you're like one of the most genuine people I know. Like you're super nice.
You're gonna make me cry already.
I know. Like you're just so nice, and you just have such good intentions, and I see right through that. But I know a lot of people that I've just met, even friends from home, always ask me how you are in real life because they feel like they don't really know you.
Yeah, it's so true. And
I just think like you're not giving yourself the chance that you should be giving yourself, because I think you're such a sweetheart, and like everybody should know that.
That's like a lot of people tell me that. Like Alex tells me that. Like I know I'm like a good person.
You're such
like,
a good person.
I don't know. I can't like get it across to like the world or something. Like I don't know how to like share, and like it makes me scared to like share too much, and so I just don't, and then it's just fake, and then people think I'm a bitch, and it's like I don't know what to do.
Well, you texted me something the other day where you were like, I used to care so much and now I just want to be happy. And I think you agreeing to do this, you saying you don't care, is such a good thing, because I can tell like you're just at that point where you just want to be happy.
Yeah, and I think that is a pretty recent thing, like over the past few months. Like I wasn't like that a few months ago. Like I just kind of had that thought of like I'm over like this fake life. Not that like my life has been fake for the past few years, because like it wasn't like I've had like amazing times and stuff, but just what people see, I guess. Like I want people to see the real, and I just almost don't know how to do that. But I'm just kind of like, I'm at that point where I know like I need to like do something.
I feel like we can relate on a whole nother level, because
we're really similar.
We really are. I feel like I went through a very similar thing, and recently I came to terms with it and I put a video out there. So I think you doing this is so strong.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Pretend the cameras aren't even there.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Okay.
And this is unfiltered.
It's just there's lights, so
yeah.
It's hard. But yeah. I don't even know where to start, really.
I feel like everybody has a story, and there's a point where we all see where it started. We all see the climax, and then we all see like a resolution in our own personal narratives. And I feel like you're towards the end of this one story. You were just telling me you don't care and you just want to be happy. So I think that's pretty much a resolution. But I feel like there was a start and a middle. So I think maybe filling your subscribers in with the blanks, because I feel like they're trying to fill in the blanks themselves, and it's doing you a disservice because it's not the truth. It's not your truth.
Yeah.
So
I honestly don't even know where to start, because I feel like I've had struggles with like my identity or just who I am since high school. Like this has been like my whole life. I just care a lot about what people think. Like it ruins how I enjoy life. It makes me not happy. And so like I could go back like to high school. Like I would get up at 5 a.m. to like straighten my hair. Who wakes up at 5 a.m. in high school like to make themselves look good? Like I didn't even probably look good. I was probably awkward, but I just was like so obsessed with like my appearance. It wasn't really as bad as it has been like this past year, like since I started dating Alex.
The start of your story is when you were starting to date Alex.
I think it became really obvious when I started dating Alex to viewers through the blog channel and just in general, because of how much I changed, how I looked and how I acted, I guess. Well, I mean, I always acted like surface level. I didn't really share a lot ever, but I started dating in 2016. When I met Alex, I was not the skinniest I've ever been, and I don't know why. I think it was just my single, when it was like the savage days. I was just like, I don't know, like I was always like the kind of person who changed, and I didn't even realize at the time like I had changed in the way I looked so much. Then when I met Alex, it just became really obvious to me, like all of a sudden, like he was a model and he's obviously attractive, and I just like the most insecure I've ever been when I met him. even though he made me really happy and we had like good times and like we're like a happy couple, like I just never, I don't know how to explain it. I never like was able to open myself up with like emotional things because all I cared about was appearance and obsessing over what I looked like because I was dating him, and I thought because he was a model and like looked a certain way, I thought I had to like look like a model, and I started making myself look like a model, and it wasn't really intentional at first. It was kind of like in my head, like I didn't even know I was doing it. And
that's always how it happens.
Yeah.
Like it's like when it's happening, you don't know when it's starting.
Yeah.
But then once you look back, you realize that's when it started.
Yeah. You can just see it in like so many vlogs and photos, like the difference of like weight. I was probably 130 pounds when I met Alex. And at one point, like last summer, I was 100 pounds. And like for my height, that's definitely not normal. It was just not good. I was just really insecure.
So you had like the idea of what you thought you should look like, and you didn't think you matched that.
Like nothing was ever good enough. I think that I had a form of like body dysmorphia, and I don't want to like throw words around because I hate like when people are like people are making anxiety like an aesthetic, like it's like a thing, like every YouTuber has anxiety,
or
every
bullied,
YouTuber was bullied, but like it's not every YouTuber, but it's a lot of us, and I think you can like relate.
I find it super interesting that you're the first person I'm talking to in this series, knowing that like we do have that like similarity in that we're from the same genre on YouTube of trying to make ourselves look perfect.
That DIY generation.
The DIY saturation, let's make our lives look perfect. We were just saying before the camera started rolling that we almost think it like did more harm than good.
Yeah, I think we just always put this persona on, a lot of us, of like this perfect life. And for me that really wasn't good because I did that to begin with, but adding like the whole YouTube life and
like perfect morning routine.
Yeah, it just made us not know who we truly were.
It did, and I totally relate to that because it's like we got so caught up in trying to construct what our lives looked like that we didn't even keep up with ourselves.
It was almost like we had like tunnel vision of like, oh, I need to do this video, I need to do that video, and this person's doing this, so I need to do this, and we like literally didn't care about anything else except for this like world, and like it's almost like we didn't have our actual life.
We kind of made it look like we had it together when we did it.
Yeah, it was like this world, but we didn't have like a real, like it would consume us, and
it's tiring.
Being so young and like going through that and like doing that is like crazy because we had our like stuff figured out, like we were like our own, it was like child stars, like they go freaking crazy. Like we're literally like in charge of everything, and so like the pressure that we put on ourselves, it was probably just like really not good.
No. When talking about like making those perfect videos, I think, you know, it did harm on ourselves trying to look perfect, but I think it also did harm on how our audience perceives us, because it made us unrelatable and it made us seem like we're on another pedestal than them and that we have all this together when we're hurting too, and we felt the need to put on that face.
Yeah.
For some reason, because, you know, we saw the numbers and we saw it working. So we felt like, okay, let's keep trying to look perfect. And I think eventually just distanced our subscribers from us.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the number one thing I get is like, they don't know me. And I think like going back to like the struggle of like last summer, this past year, I'd say like I've gotten the most hate I've ever gotten in my whole life. And like looking back at like that time, in that moment, I didn't realize or understand why I was getting the hate, but now if I look back at those videos, I'm like, wow, like I totally get it. Like I look so just uninterested or like just distant, and like you don't even know who I am. And I would get a lot of hate about like, Alex can do better, and that just triggered me like even more because I was so insecure already about like that sort of thing. But when they would say like my personality, like
So you got a lot of hate for...
They would say like, you're distant to Alex, like, he deserves better, like you're a bitch basically. And I didn't understand it back then, but looking back now, I definitely understand that I was just so obsessed with like how I looked. Like I was distant in those vlogs because I was like looking off into a viewfinder and just worrying about my appearance and constantly looking at myself in the mirror, touching my hair. Oh my God, the amount of comments I used to get about, she touches her hair so much and like fixes, I would always like fix myself in videos. Like it would take away from what I was actually trying to say in a vlog or in a video. Like I was just so lost in what I was trying to like put out into the world. Like it was just not even real. Like all I cared about was what I looked like. And it sounds vain. People are gonna be like, you're such a vain person. Like I would pass by a reflecting window and like every chance I got, I would look at myself. Like it was like obsessive.
An obsession.
It's literally body dysmorphia. Like you constantly throughout your day for hours, even like probably the whole day, it's like all you think about. And it affects your relationships.
Yeah.
It affects like what other people like see, and like they just are confused. And it's because like literally all you're thinking about is like, are these people like thinking of like my lips, or like, do they think I'm fat? Like, wow, these people are just thinking I'm fat right now. Like that's what I thought. Like I was just so insecure. Like Alex is so good at complimenting me and like being like, you look so beautiful today, and I just like did not believe it. Like I still have struggles with that. Like if someone gives me a compliment, like I can't take it. I don't believe them. I literally don't believe them. I think they're thinking the opposite of what they're actually saying.
I see a common theme that like for some reason, I don't know why, but everything keeps going back to you not feeling good enough for your career, for your fiance. You keep talking about it.
Yeah, I definitely struggle with just always wanting to be perfect, but I know I'm not. Like I'm not good enough. I think I'm like getting better, and like it's not even, it's like recent, like the past few months, like I've just started to realize like the importance of life and like what real happiness is. This happiness that you get from looks is not actual happiness. It's
not real.
It might make you happy for like a day, and then it just goes back to not
being sad in bed. I totally understand.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good note to touch on. Real, genuine happiness isn't external.
No, just makes you realize like the more you try to like look a certain way, it can make you feel worse inside.
It's a deep, dark hole.
In the summer when I was like blonde hair and like the skinniest I've ever been, like I was probably the most unhappy. And in my relationship too, there was like a lot of problems. I just want to like be able to show the world
realness.
Some realness.
Some realness. Because
Yeah.
I will have to admit, like my guilty pleasure is scrolling through Instagram and looking at how perfect you and your life looks. And I know like a lot of people like that, but I also think there's something like so beautiful about being vulnerable.
And I never do that.
You don't.
I literally never do it. And it's like a thing. I just got so caught up in like the perfect life and like wanting to do the perfect thing that I would never be sharing anything that was my real life.
What is something you're doing now that's like making you have this better outlook?
I don't even know. I think like I just literally don't care anymore because I'm just so tired.
So you're tired of being miserable?
Yeah, I'm just tired of it. I don't want to have to put so much effort into this like thing that's just making things worse.
So you're at like a point where you're just like, I'd rather be like carefree and happy than
I literally just want
construct
to be
something.
happy, like actually happy.
That is
not
kind
like
of adulting.
Social media happy.
Yes.
Like actually real life happy.
I'm so proud of you. I've known you for a while, and this is like the deepest I feel like we've talked about
For
your
sure.
things. I feel like you're a good friend hearing other people talk, but when it comes
I bottle everything up. That's another thing I wanted to say. Yeah.
you're a bottler. Like,
Oh my god. Like the worst. I don't share feelings. It's like crazy. And it just messes with you.
It's so healthy to talk and cry.
Yeah. It was not good.
There are some like Sierra subscribers, Sierra Naders that have been with you this whole time,
Yeah.
pre-dating Alex, pre-moving to LA, Canada followers. There's these followers that have been with you for like this whole time, and they've seen this evolution and this change, and they're still there. So like, what do you like have to say to the ones that have been through every phase with you?
Oh my god, when you were talking about this in your video and you were like, I'm just like shocked that you guys stuck around. That's literally how I feel. Like, I probably wouldn't have if I was them. And so I'm just like thankful that they're still here.
I almost feel like with you, what I've noticed in videos is sometimes you completely don't share, and then it comes off as like pretentious, and then all of a sudden you share, and people think, oh, this girl is like poor little rich girl. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like it's confused people, and like I've done the same thing, so I understand. Like I feel like you're this hybrid now. Yeah. That's like figuring it out. And I see it, and I can tell everyone else is gonna see it. It's so exciting though. Doesn't it feel like refreshing? It's like a new start.
This talk is like even refreshing.
I see this as like so good for you. How do you feel?
Refreshed.
Refreshed. I think it's like really good to like realize that there is no moment where you're like, everything's better, I'm better. It's always gonna be a lifelong struggle, especially body dysmorphia. But and anxiety thing, you're gonna have bad days. There's
but you
gonna
can't
be
get
days.
to good without that. So
You can't. So like maybe you had to go through that dark time to realize what real happiness is, and that you want that instead of external.
Yeah. I'm like shaking. I've been shaking this whole video.
You're on such a good path though.
Yeah.
Just making this video, I'm so proud of you. I didn't expect you to respond to my text.
Really? I was like nervous. As soon as you texted me, I was like, oh crap. Like, I don't know. I was just like, I definitely should do this.
And I think you can't like compare yourself to like other people that get like super vulnerable, because I think that like this is your vulnerable, and I think your vulnerable is different from other people's, and I think everyone has a different capacity of like what they can and can't share. I know like Gabby can share way more than I can, and I used to judge myself for that, like I wish I could not give a like her. But it's like, that's the whole part of like loving yourself. Like this is you, like I know you, so like everyone watching, like this is a lot for Sierra.
It is, like, I never cry on YouTube.
You
like,
don't?
I literally almost cried. Well, I did cry a little bit. So
I'm proud of you. I didn't expect you to respond, and I didn't expect you to do this on camera.
Yeah, it's hard. It's scary, but I think it's good. I really think it's good.
Hug it out.
The hug.
No shaking.
Thanks for helping.
And I think I'm happy about this series, because like I think it's like,
it's really good.
It's time like people see that like YouTubers have problems, and it's okay. Everybody's human.
Oh, this is so good.
Say bye to your Serenators. Bye. This is always the awkward ending. This is how
This is always happening.
me and Alicia did the same thing. We're like, bye.
Acknowledge both cameras.